right, guys, on the Daredevil journey, time to talk about episodes 9 and 10. All right, guys, got into this thing. Adelia kind of let a spoiler go, as we're going. Like, oh yeah, another one of my favorite episodes, episode 9. So
That's not a spoiler.
we started watching it, and I understood exactly why she would say that. Just on the cold open of the episode, we get to go to the jail and basically find out what Fisk has been up to during some of that time and everything else. Thoroughly enjoyed it because Fisk is a badass character. I was kind of hating the fact that he didn't have a lot to do so far in season 2, but nah, man, super happy to see him get to go at it again and find out how he may have gotten a little bit of that power in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good to see him again.
No, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Awesome code open. We go back into Matt Murdoch and Elektra. They're kind of uh issue because she killed that guy, and Matt's like, nah, man, you're never gonna change. Then we go back into Fisk and our man Punisher when they met at the end of last episode. We get to actually see some of what's being said, and it's basically the guy that's leading some of the jail right now. Means Fisk can't really take control unless that guy's gone. And that was his whole deal. Like, hey, this guy's tied to what happened to your family somehow. Here goes you a little handmade knife-a-roo. We're gonna set it up for you to be able to get some of that revenge if you want. Punisher's like, hell no, I'm not doing crap for you. But then basically Fisk is a very persuasive man. And anyway, pretty much it's going to set up Big Daddy Punisher to go in there and take out this guy who's ruling the prison at the time. And Fisk is obviously doing it for his own selfish reasons, but then at the same time, he's got a good point. The stuff he says, it's like, ah, man, he's just doing this to set his ass up or whatever. But at the same time, you're like, hey, Fisk is pretty persuasive. Like his character does have, he makes good points and good arguments.
He does. That's always been one thing about Fisk's character that I've appreciated is he's not a stupid villain. He has a well thought out reason for why he's doing what he's doing, and he has a good way of explaining that to whoever he needs to do something for him. And yeah, he offers Frank a chance at Dutton, who is the so-called kingpin of Rikers Island, which is where they are, and Frank takes him up on it.
But yeah, no, I totally get it, totally understand. It, I love him because he is really smart and does all these things, and when he has the time and he can sit there and be calm and cool and collected, he's almost unstoppable. But his weakness is the fact that when he loses control.
Yeah.
If you make him mad enough, you push the right button, he's going to lose control, which then makes him make mistakes or not see things that he should have saw coming, and that kind of situation. So in this scene with the Punisher, and they're talking, he's in that cool, calm, and collective mode. He knows what to say, what to do. He's not going to get caught off guard. He's doing all that thing. So I actually, yeah, you can't say enough. And both of these characters in the same room or atmosphere at the same time, uh, you know, they're built up. They're super great. Both actors are awesome. So it was really cool. I was super glad that they were able to have a couple of scenes of them actually talking and having dialogue and stuff like they were able to in this episode.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we go back to Matt Murdoch and them. They're obviously having their issues and all that good stuff with, trying to do the trial. And he's doing his Daredevil stuff, and Foggy is getting into it and not seeing eye to eye. Basically saying like you were saying earlier, blaming him for costing them the trial and everything else is going on crazy. Then we have Foggy and Karen talking about a couple of things that's going down at the office. Always glad to see them involved in all their things because these are just, I can't say it enough, man. All these, everybody that's there, I can't even think of a small character actor. We just talked about one character actor that came in and played the general that was on the stand in the courtroom scene. And but all the major characters, obviously, and like even Robin agrees, like one hundred
Yep.
percent. Like they all knock it out of the park. Like I said, I don't know who the casting director was for this show, but they did pretty damn good. I ain't gonna lie
They
to you. They
did.
like almost knocked it out of the park with every decision they made. Like I think Electra's a super awesome pick. I even think Stick's a super awesome pick. So like even
Yeah.
these smaller characters that they have, I thought just do such a good job. And so like even the stuff that maybe you know you're not finding as interesting is still just done really good and still really good. It's just that they do so good, like something's going to be better than the other. You're going to like a character a little bit better than the other here and there, but nah, man, just the interactions they have is just super great.
Yeah, absolutely. I love all the actors that are in this show. They do a phenomenal job, and uh, kudos to the casting director because I don't know who the casting director was for the series either, but they did great.
Yeah, super awesome. We get a scene where Daredevil stops the one guy who was like obviously working for I don't know, one of the Asian groups or whatever. He's the guy that they ended up finding like behind his desk, the secret room that they ended up finding the book that needed to be decoded. Daredevil
He's
gets
an
him.
accountant for
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah. So Daredevil stops him because he's wanting to find out some information. So we have a moment with that. But then, hey, something that's growing on me is the Karen and his name's uh, can't think of it right now, but was Ben's boss, the editor of the newspaper, basically. I think Karen and him's got like a cool interaction. Like I actually dig it. Them finding out information and her doing the kind of like sleuth stuff. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good role for Karen to sort of follow in Ben's footsteps after we don't know what's going on with uh, the law office after losing this case and everything, and she's trying to still like get word out that like Frank was hard done by whatever happened to his family because it's not what it seems.
That is true. Then we have might be my favorite hallway scene. It's not the complete scene in this one part of the show, but uh, what's about to go down. But Frank Castle's got his little towels, got his little shiv in between the towels, walking down the hall of this guy who's been leading the prison, and all the guys on that block is like his basically, and they're all trapped behind bars. The only door that's open is the big bosses or whatever. Frank Castle walks in, stabs a fool in the neck, basically takes his ass out pretty quick, and then he's got the shiv up to the big boss guy, and he's like asking him a couple questions about like what happened, who called shots, who was involved in the stuff that happened that had his family killed and everything else. And then he takes his ass out, and then we jump from there. But man, that whole entire scene is just awesome, right there, all the way up to that point. So,
Yeah,
what did y'all
we
think
learned.
about that? Was y'all as hyped as I was? I couldn't wait to see the rest of that scene get finished, like being able to see the end of that.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
learned in that scene that um the firefight at the carousel happened because of a drug deal gone wrong for a drug dealer named the Blacksmith. And
First
so
time we heard of Blacksmith. I'm pretty interested in finding out who this Blacksmith is. He's been mentioned now like once or twice, and it's like, well, who the hell is this person, right?
mhm.
And not gonna lie to you. The first time I heard it, I was just thinking about what if it's like this guy putting on an act that actually makes Daredevil's suit. Because that guy kind of plays
Oh,
really super.
Melvin?
Yeah, yeah. Melvin kind of plays like like he's really dumb, don't know a whole lot kind of situation, right? And he's only doing it
Mhm.
to help. Well, what is it, Beverly or
Betsy.
Betsy? So it's like maybe this blacksmith character acts like that on purpose, so nobody would suspect him. And he is
Could
building
be.
things. He is building like for Daredevil, and he built it for like Fist. So I'm thinking blacksmith, this guy. I don't think it's him, but like that is something that crossed my mind whenever I first heard the name. I was like, man, what if this fool is actually like the blacksmith? But he's just
Yeah.
playing like a part to people and stuff.
Matt and I have seen this show before. Justin is not, so we know who the blacksmith is. so I'm just not gonna comment. But I could see why that name would make you think of
Hey
Mark
man,
for sure.
yeah, I'm just saying he better be a badass. All I'm saying whenever I do see him. So we do get Karen and the editor showing up at the guy's like he had basically went and hid out at like I think at like a motel room or whatnot
Mm-hmm.
to hide from whoever might be trying to come get his ass because he had to do the thing on the stand where he lied and everything else, and they go and talk to him uh, and get some information from him. Um, just every day going out and playing detective and finding out some information, but then we jump right back into it. Frank's got the bad guy with that shield right across his neck, asking him a little bit more questions, and everything else is the other guy's already dead in the jail cell. Then Frank takes him out, walks down the hall. Everybody's still trapped into their cells. He gets down to the gate because the guy told
And
him
they
he had
won't
7 minutes, and they won't open it. But what they do is open everybody else's basically door
Mm-hmm.
to let them out, and then they run at first down the hall to see about their boss. Boss is dead. Well, now they're like, oh hell no, it's time for it, and the cops just walk away, leaving Frank Castle to his own devices in the hallways. And I want to tell you right now, my favorite parts whenever before he ever even hits like the first guy, that whole like just knowing what he's got to do, and he just kind of does the whole rat loud grunt as he like
yep.
takes towards the first guy. Man, that was that kicked it off. This might be actually better than me than the first hall. The stairwell scene's really good. I really did like it, so I don't know if I'm putting this above that, but I actually like this more than I think the first hallway scene that really captured
Yeah.
everything in like the first season with Daredevil. I actually think this is like same kind of situation. It's basically a hallway, but like set in a prison. And the Punisher does not play, dude. Oh my god! Like the different ways he's able to take people out and everything is just flat out crazy. I love
Hmm.
all the craziness. I love the blood. I love the gore. I'm over here cheering for his ass the whole time, like I'm watching an Auburn basketball game. If you ever watch live on Twitch over there, you'll see how crazy I get. But I got pumped up during this scene. Really enjoyed it. One of my favorite scenes now of Daredevil, period, is this scene. And just because he didn't have, it was like, bro, it's got to be, he's got to survive, man. He's got to do whatever he can to do that. Like I said, there ain't a bad thing I can say about this scene. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it
It's
was
great.
awesome.
It's brutal. It shows Frank is able to kill people not just with a gun, but in
Hmm.
other ways, and yeah, it's an incredible scene.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. Brandy did tell me to tell Adelia that she didn't really care for this because it kind of grossed her out too. Well, you know what? Can't be weak at heart when you're dealing with the Punisher. Ain't that right, Matt?
Yep.
All right. Then we get to some more Daredevil stuff. I was almost disappointed just because of the fact the stuff with Frank Castle was just so damn awesome. I didn't want to leave the jail. There's like certain things I just keep not wanting to leave. I didn't want to leave the courtroom. Didn't want to leave the jail. But we get over here. He's got that. I'm just gonna say Asian because I do not know. I could not remember if these are Japan or Chinese. Like what group of people these are, but the basically the boss of the accountant. He catches him there. Actually,
They're
it's
the
in Japanese.
Japanese.
It
It's
is Japanese.
Japanese.
It's Japanese. So the Japanese leader, he catches him. Is like, what the hell is going on here? What do you got going on? Pretty cool little scene though. It was kind of you know, they're there. He comes in and catches them, but it's not a whole lot besides that goes on unless y'all can think of something else.
No.
Mm-mm.
Then, like I said, we go back to Karen, and she gets Ben's office basically. Like I don't know if he technically gives it to her completely, like, hey, this is your home away from home kind of situation, or if he's letting her use it, like to get some of this information in the story and everything. And she opens up the file and it says like to Karen. Uh, I guess Ben set this up or whatever, at least that file maybe or whatever, and told Homebrew to let her go in if she ever comes by. And I, she does a great job, man. Like that was a really good acting job of her, like, being in a certain situation, but she walks in there and sees that, and then like she instantly choked up. I really did feel that. I thought she did a very good job
Yeah,
with that.
she did for sure.
But too bad, too sad. Cause you know what? I like that scene. Thought she did a really good scene. Really good acting job. But then very fastly did not give a shit about it no more because we got Big Daddy Fist walking in on the Punisher, basically handcuffed to a slab. Uh, I ain't gonna lie to you, I loved it. I
Yeah.
Another powerful scene. Two big men looking at each other face to face. The dialogue is great. Like I love the fact that these are like these killers, right? But they're not stupid. They're extremely like even the Punisher has an intelligence, right?
Mhm.
But it's like them looking at each other, man, and they're eyeing each other up. They're filling each other out. Whole headbutt from the Punisher to Fisk out of nowhere, and then Fisk like gets the better of him, but it's mainly because he's like handcuffed or whatever. And
Yeah.
Fist does that double arm axe handle from the top, a couple of times, like a move that he's done a couple of times in episode one and everything else. It was nice to see that again. Then then Fist says handcuff his ass or unhandcuff his ass, and he gets unhandcuffed, and then now it's even more fair. And they're still standing toe to toe. Fist is giving his reasoning. Daredevil is like, man, whenever if I see you outside of here, I'm gonna kill your ass.
Punisher, not
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Punisher says, I'm gonna kill your ass. Done.
Mhm.
Like, and it's a cool scene. It's a cool setup. Can't wait till they meet again, right? Punisher's let go. He gets to escape jail easily because
Yep.
now all the guards are under Fisk. All the people inside the prison are pretty much Fist army over here. So nobody. It's not even like he's not even in jail no more. Let's just be honest. He's
Yeah.
taking a vacation. Is what he's
Yeah.
doing right now. The only thing bad for him is that he can't be with Vanessa.
Mhm.
That's the only thing that he's got bad working for him right now. But yeah, man, uh, just really good, really powerful scene. Anything to add with that? I just couldn't speak about it enough. I loved it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it when Fisk confirms that he was trying to just get Frank out of the way and have him killed, but that Frank killing all those other inmates made him realize that he was worth having around and
Mm-hmm.
not in the prison, but out there taking care of all of Fisk's enemies before Fisk gets
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah, it's just a great dynamic where you got the guy he doesn't want to help Fisk, but then at the same time, the same damn people he wants to take out are the people that end up being enemies of Fisk anyway. And it's
Hmm.
like he doesn't. It's just a really good dynamic they got going on between those two. It's like, yeah, man, nah, go out and out there. Yeah, I set your ass up. I thought you was gonna die in the hallway there. Uh, but I guess since you survived, I'm gonna let you go out there and take some other folks out. And he knows he's gonna end up doing it because like
Hmm.
he's that's his whole thing. He's gonna go out there and avenge and take care of these people uh, that did in his family. But then we do go back to Daredevil. He, like I said, he had capping the. He basically had taken out the Japanese leader. He goes in there and then he finds these people in cages with their blood being sucked out into this like old big ass urn thing, which I don't know and don't get 100% of what the hell's going on. But yeah, Daredevil basically lets the Japanese leader go because he's like, I don't care about this guy no more right now. He's trying to save these people's
Well,
lives.
it's Nobu. Nobu's
It's
back.
Nobu.
Well, yeah, Nobu does show up. They do get in a fight. No, you're right. They do get in a fight, which is a pretty good fight because Nobu's like one of the people that almost took his ass out in the first season. So he's doing his thing. He finds out, boom, 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 pulls off his mask, and he's burnt up, but he's dead. So Daredevil can't believe that he's not dead. But there is that fight. But then like Nobu takes that big ass urn with him, and they get out of there. And then Daredevil tries to save the people that are in these cages, getting their blood sucked out of them slowly. So it's like crazy.
Hmm. Yeah. It's weird. It's super weird.
Yeah, it is. Like, and I guess when you find out why they're doing it or what they're doing or what they're even trying to accomplish, it'll make more sense. But it's like that almost seemed like it should have been out of some like crazy sci-fi movie at that point. Almost didn't feel like it was something that you would normally see in a superhero, like either show or movie. It felt like you'd see it out of like Aliens or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then they have that fight scene and all that good stuff. Daredevil, like I said, saves those guys, and then we get to. Oh yeah, there was one more thing that I really loved. The end of this episode, we get Fisk sitting behind. That guy didn't die. Punisher didn't kill him completely. He's in like a hospital bed, dying slowly. And
Mm-hmm.
Fisk is over there eating some looks like steak or whatever, and saying, "Hey, don't worry, I'll be here with you until you die."
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
sitting with him in the room, bro. He said, "You are right there. There wasn't enough room for both of us. You're on your way out. You won't die alone though. I'll be here," is what he says.
Yeah.
Thought that was a pretty cool, like, kick ass thing. And then of
Yeah, I
course
think
we
so.
of course you get the end of like this happens in between the Daredevil fight with Nobu and all that stuff. But I what the hell is that urn? I mean, do y'all even know? Do y'all know? Like, I guess do we find out what the hell the urn is?
We'll find out what's going on. Yeah.
That's a big that thing's just sitting there. What the hell does it do? I don't even know what the hell it's supposed to symbolize. But there you go, man. There goes episode 9. 3 and 4 are really good, but I really enjoyed episode 9. To be honest with you, I put them almost in the same kind of category where 3 of those episodes is really good, really hot television. This episode right here, it's like a 9.5 for me.
Yeah.
About a 9.5. It was one of my favorite episodes of this whole show. Heck, it might even be it might even be. I don't know if it would beat both 3 and 4, but it might beat one of those. It might be at least my second favorite, if not my favorite episode of the season and of the entire show so far.
Yeah. It's This is probably my third favorite episode of the entire series. After 3 and 4, they're my three favorite episodes, and I'd give it a 9.
Yeah, I give it a 9 also.
All right, then we jump into episode 10. We our favorite cop guy and Daredevil have a little discussion here,
Mm-hmm.
and Daredevil's still trying to help him out and be like do the thing, and our cop keeps climbing the ranks. But I think this happened before, but like, and I know we probably did talk about it, but now he's like a detective, like
He is.
sergeant detective or something like that, bro. He's before long he's going to be leader of all cops. But then we get the night nurse. She comes back involved in the show, and because she's helping actually trying to take care of these people that Daredevil brought in that was obviously lost a lot of blood and stuff. So they're trying to infuse them with some more blood and everything else, and trying to save their lives.
Mm-hmm. And
We
then,
get yeah, go ahead.
yeah, she says they're all burning up with fevers,
Mm-hmm.
and they've run out of cold packs, so she sends somebody to go get cold sodas from the floor below them, which I thought was an
Yeah.
interesting hack.
After their fight, we get to see the team back together again. Karen and Foggy and Matt as they're going up to the DA's office. Now she's not dressed in her normal attire. She's just got like a hoodie on and stuff, and she's like really scared because she got some information from her daughter had like they found like an X-ray or something like in her daughter's either like was it her personal belongings or like
Their
at her like
backpack.
Backpack?
her backpack or whatnot. So like she's like super worried, obviously, and she's like, "Hey man, I don't care about my job no more. I'm tired of this crap. I'm just trying to do what I can to protect my daughter and everything." And I think she's like almost at that cusp of turning. Like, you know what? I'm going to give my job up. I did some wrong things, shouldn't have did it, and all this. Um, and then right there at the end, she's literally saying like she's literally giving the spot that I just talked about, where she's talking about she don't care about the job no more. Matt, Daredevil hears a noise. It's a clicking of a gun. He tells everybody to get down, but not quick enough to save Reyes. She gets gunned down and hellfire of bullets, and the rest of the team's all laying on the floor trying to dodge bullets, which causes chaos there at that.
Foggy gets hit too.
Yeah, Foggy does get hit in the shoulder. And and everything else. And him and Matt Murdock have like a little scene where he's like, "Man, you got to stop, dude. You got to stop going after him." Kind of that same storyline that's been going on for a little while, where Foggy's basically saying like, "You can't do this all the time." Like Foggy's like, "You're. It's cool for you to do this every now and then when you really need to do it, but you got to stop doing it all the time, taking everything into your own hands, and all that kind of good stuff." But yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. Pretty good stuff. I thought like pretty good setup for the episode.
Yeah, because Reyes tells Foggy, Matt, and Karen that she organized the sting on the blacksmith's drug deal with the Irish, the Mexican cartel, and the Dogs of Hell, and that she didn't clear the area like she probably should have of civilians, because she didn't want to tip them off to the fact that it was a sting, and that an undercover cop died and Castle's family was part of the casualties of that situation, and that she tried to cover it all up. And like, that's a massive admission from the DA.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But no, yeah. It can't be said enough, man. Just solid stuff after solid stuff. Like there's not a bunch of weak points in here. Everything leads to something. Now, I'll say like if you want to say the weakest point of this episode would be like the way they do the shooting and stuff. They're obviously trying to act like, oh, it could be Punisher out there. He's already escaped. Everybody knows he's escaped. But it's like, nah, man. I as a fan watching the show, this ain't the Punisher. Punisher didn't do this. Like I knew right off the bat, there wasn't like a second of me even thinking it was the Punisher. Like I know it's somebody. Maybe it's this blacksmith person, right? Or maybe it's somebody the blacksmith person's hired. But I know it's not Punisher out there doing this in this episode. I guess you could say like that would be the weakest part. Like if they were trying to fool you, I don't think it really fooled too much of anybody. But then again, the show's aim may not have been to fool you. So I don't know. Maybe they wanted you to know all along. It was like definitely not the Punisher.
I don't know about that, because like, shooting through windows and through walls and stuff is how he killed the Irish. So, like, to me, that's a callback to like the way he murdered all the Irish gang members, like to make you think that it's Punisher. We obviously find out by the end of this episode that it's not Punisher, but
I don't know. Maybe if you're not digging into it deeper, or maybe you don't understand Punisher's character as much, I could possibly see because you're right. He does shoot like all those people in that one scene through like windows and stuff, and maybe that was the thing that they tried to hope just fool you. But me just knowing the character, I knew he wasn't going to be like opening fire on like Karen, Foggy, Matt Murdock, even that one
yeah.
guy because the one guy I think's pretty innocent. I could see him shooting Rays, but I could not see him doing it while they were all there,
Mm-hmm.
kind of situation. So like
Yeah.
that's I was just like, it definitely ain't him. But like I guess it could fool some people that wasn't thinking about it as deeply as I was.
Yeah. I can't remember if it fooled me the first time I watched this or not, but I knew by watching it now that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Definitely, we get Matt Murdock and Fisk joining up again in a scene, and another great, awesome
Yeah.
scene, man. That jail's getting some good time out of it because super awesome scene. He goes in there. Obviously, he's trying to find out some more information from Fisk, uh, and all this. But while he's there, he finds out that Fisk has got control of the thing, got control of the jail, and the way he does it is he uses Vanessa against Fisk and pisses him off enough that he just undoes his handcuffs because it was just all fake. It was all fake. He never was truly handcuffed, and grabs him and starts slamming his head down on the table, and then goes on and tells him, "I'll spend more than $6 on some postage stamps to end your ass." You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's a threat. That's a threat that Daredevil used to him. It's going to take an envelope and $6 worth of postage, and I can make it to where Vanessa can never come back to the states again. And then I thought the cool part in the discussion was him telling him like, "Look, you might think that you're going to be able to go to her and just live off in some lavish lifestyle somewhere else, not in this country. But I know you ain't going to be able to leave New York. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be the punishment. It's like you technically can, but you won't. You won't be able to do it." I thought that was like a really smart, well acted. and well done. Kudos to the writers again. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, agree.
Then because we got the shooting, we got the editor, we got Karen getting together again, and they are going to go try to get. Well, for one, she's going to go get some information from her apartment, and
Well, first they go to the
oh yeah, they're going to go
medical
see the coroner.
examiner's.
Yeah, the medical examiner, the coroner guy. They're going to go see him because they know where he's supposed to be at. So, and he's like, "You're not going there alone." So he goes with her, and then we see Lectra going, I guess, at this fancy place that does private jets, goes and sits at a little like bar that's only like certain people can go to. Sits down and orders a drink, and then this guy comes out of nowhere and starts, buttering those buns. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like he's hitting on her and stuff like that. Um,
Yep.
Thought that was
All in
interesting because I
French.
didn't. Yeah, he talks French, she talks French, and everything else, and like I thought that was really cool because I really didn't know where that was going,
Yeah.
but I thought it was like a cool scene because I was like, what the hell's happened? Like, who's this guy? I tell you what, this could have fooled me. Obviously he's not, but for a second there, I was like, maybe this guy's a blacksmith, and he's coming to like talk to her or something like that. And he had the like that gravitas of him being like a powerful, like maybe leader or undercover person or something who's out there doing some pulling some of the strings. We do get the Karen and the editor go in and bump to that coroner's place, finds out that his ass is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Karen's like, I got some information at the house. That's when she's talking about going to her apartment, and the editor guy says, "Hold on one second." Gets two of the cops and says, "Like, you ain't going on your own. I have a couple of favors that are owed to me. These guys are going with you." She tries to fight it off for a little bit, and he's like, "I really do like this scene, to be honest
Mm-hmm.
with you, like in the messaging that it has, because she goes at it as you're doing this, and she even tries to call him out, like." You're doing this because basically I'm a woman, right? Like you wouldn't have did this if it was Ben. And then he says, hold your horses. I made a mistake by not doing this with Ben and lost a friend, and I'm not going to make that same mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that because
Yeah.
one of those things where someone like she basically assumes he's only doing this because she's a woman, right? She can't take care of herself, kind of situation, and all that. And that's exactly the opposite of what he was trying to do, right? And I really do like fleshing that out, and because it's a good thing to show that just because a person's like trying to be helpful or trying to do things, it's not always like a bad thing. It's not always because you're this, or this, or someone even finds you weak. There's a lot of reasons like they might be doing this. One hundred
Mm-hmm.
percent. I really like that because I know a lot of times guys try to do nice things. I mean, I tell you, like an example, uh, at a job I was working. I was helping out a lady one time, and I'm just always been like old school, kind of like I'm gonna help out the lady, like especially if it's something heavy or whatever. I'm not even gonna ask. I'm gonna just do it, like chivalrous, whatever you want to call it. So I pick up this heavy thing and go to help them carry it to the car, and I proceed to get cussed out because I automatically assumed that they couldn't do it themselves because they were a woman. Now, how that's changed me is now I don't. I let I'll most of the time give it a pause. Let the lady actually ask for help because I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like super mad in that situation. That ain't nothing that I was doing. I wasn't doing anything bad. I was trying to be a gentleman. I was trying to be a nice guy. Try to help someone out. I would have did the same thing for like an elderly person, an elderly man, for instance. I would have done the same thing. If it looked like they was having a hard time doing things. So like that's just me being helpful and something that I did, to like respect women and stuff. And for me to be cussed out by it, I almost flew off the handle, right? I almost got myself in trouble because I got extremely angry about that. And because I don't want that to happen again, now I'm not as, I don't do what I would say is as the gentlemanly thing as fast anymore. I kind of give it a pause, let me try to see what they're wanting to do. Maybe they give me a look that kind of hints at they're going to want my help, or maybe they ask me to help them before I start helping them. But that to me, that's like a bad thing. Like that's a bad thing that happened to me that made me become, I think, and I feel a worse person just because someone assumed that I was doing something out of some kind of bad thing, you know. And that's why I really took a lot out of that scene. Maybe I took out more because of my personal experience than others.
No, I totally get that. Like, I think it's a great scene. I think it's well written. I think that, like, if you're a woman in that situation, you would automatically assume, like Karen did, that it's because um, the guy there thinks that, you know, you can't take care of yourself. And he's like, no, I know you can take care of yourself, but I made this mistake before, and I'm not going to make it again. And she immediately knows he's referring to Ben. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when I think she relents, because she realizes that he's coming from a place of goodness and just wanting to make sure that Karen is safe. And as we find out, like, it's good for her to have those cops there when she gets to her
Yeah.
conclusion.
Well, not really because they get their ass knocked out, but
I know, but like them getting their asses knocked out lets her
yeah,
know what's about to happen.
obviously it's like, you know, it's like, you know, we got to have these two cops out there, so we got to like, but this is the good part about a show, right? They don't just put the cops out there, they don't just do it, they actually make a scene out of it, right? They actually do something with it. It's like, okay, we got to get something out there to help Karen know that something's happening or whatever. We'll put two cops out there, and then a great writer finds a cool way to have that happen, and it just
Mm-hmm.
didn't mean anything, right? Like I said, obviously this ain't the most exciting part about the show. I just took a lot out of it because I will say this: I think it's sad that a lot of women would just jump to the conclusion with that. I think it's a sad thing in our society that that even occurs, especially when someone's being helpful. Like I get that there are times where that's can be pushed too far, or the guy or whoever goes too far with something or whatnot, and there are times to be called out for those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, man, like if my mom was going into a dangerous thing, I'm going to try to set up something for her, right? If I had a sister to be the same thing, you know, wife, whatever, girlfriend at the time, whatever, I don't want them to be in a dangerous situation and everything. And it's not me being a piece of crap, toxic male because I want them to be safe. Listen,
Yeah.
like, there's things that could happen to me too, as well, and I understand that. But guess what? Bad people try to take advantage of who they perceive, even if it's not true, right? We understand in the show that Karen's a badass, but
Mm-hmm.
the bad guy on the street trying to take people out doesn't know Karen's a badass. And when they're out there, you know, in the city, like, she's going to get targeted more often than someone that looks like me, right? So you trying to like step up and try to make sure that that person's safe, a bad thing all the time. So I do think it's sad that people will come to that conclusion. Oh, you're only doing this for this reason. I get it to a certain point, and like I said, I do think you need to call it out when it goes too far. You know what I'm saying? But I just think we've gone too far, you know, into that zone to where it's like you said, I do agree with you. A lot of women out there that if that was said to, they might look at it as, oh, they're just treating me different because I'm a woman and it's a bad thing. I just don't think all that's bad all the time.
I think there are good intentions behind men doing things like that a lot
Right.
of the times. But there's also like the intention of, well, you're a woman, you can't do anything sometimes from some of these
Right.
men. So like that's where it comes from
No, and
with
that's what I'm
that.
talking about. When it jumps to
Yeah.
that conclusion, we need to call it out, right? But
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
because I can be like, listen, I understand that you can do a lot of great things. So I'm not saying you're helpless, but if it's me and you get attacked, odds are I might be able to hold up myself a little bit better just because of natural body strength and me being bigger, and I got a beard that I can hit somebody in the eyeball with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you know, that I'm being goofy, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My
Yep.
point being is, it's like, not all that stuff's bad. It's only bad when
No.
someone takes it too far and they think that you're helpless. But there's a
Yeah.
difference between me wanting you to be safer and me thinking you're helpless,
It's
right?
the damsel in distress thing. Like, not all women are damsels in distress. Some women absolutely need that kind of help all the time. Other women definitely don't need that help ever. But
Right.
I understand your point of view of, you know, he just wanted to make sure Karen was going to be safe because he'd lost a friend by not taking that extra step of being sure that his friend was going to be safe.
Right. I mean, good shows give you good talking points, and sometimes even when
Mm-hmm.
you least expect it. That's all I'm kind of saying is like not every time a guy doing something nice for you means that you're worthless. That's
No,
not what they're doing
no,
it
no, no.
for. That's not like me picking up that product that was heavy. Wasn't me being like, "Oh, you suck. You never could pick this up" or whatever. That was just me being a gentleman. I'm obviously stronger. It's not as hard for me to pick up. I'm doing it as part of my job anyway to help people because I'm working in customer service kind of situation or whatever. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
to be attacked basically for that to me is just like, what are you doing? Like there would be some other things you would need help with. You'd be pissed off that I didn't try to help you with it. And
Yeah,
and that's kind of the situation I think we go into sometimes with all that. But hey, you
yeah.
know what? We got sidetracked for a little bit, but I actually love it. I love those kind of discussions because I actually think these discussions need to be had more often than not. But we do jump back to the night nurse, and she's over here taking care of these almost like opposite of vampires because they don't have no
Yeah.
blood, so they're trying to treat blood.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes up and talks to Matt Murdock on the roof. I think it's a really good scene as well about the situation. She's kind of almost telling him the same lesson Foggy is, but in a different way. I actually think she gets her point across even better, uh, to be honest with you, as a whole, in this certain situation. But yeah, good stuff. Y'all have anything to throw in there?
I love the conversations between Claire and Matt. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
so interesting, and she's got good points, and he's got good points, and they don't devolve into a screaming match between the two of them. They just sort of realize that they have different viewpoints on things, and I liked the bit with the coffee where she'd gotten him a coffee, but he didn't want it, so she just pours it out on the roof, and yeah, I thought this whole scene was really good.
Yeah.
All righty. Then we go back to Karen. She's at her apartment. She's got the two cops. One cop almost. Uh, this is another one of those situations that's kind of similar to what we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now, I actually think that Karen is in maybe the right because of how the guy kind of said it and the tone he said it. But the cop's like, you live alone. And he says it in a way that I actually do agree with Karen here because she says, like, are you going to ask me on a date or are you, what was it? You going to ask? She said, are you going to ask me out or are you going to stand outside? That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they both go stand outside or whatever to like help watch while she's like going through and getting the information she's trying to get and all that. But I will say, like, he could have been asking that for a couple of reasons. Like, that
Yeah.
didn't have anything to do with anything bad there. I don't think the cop was like overly creepy, but like I said, the tone he said it in, I kind of understood where she was coming from with this one when she does that. And I thought it was actually kind of funny, to be honest with you. But yeah, like you live alone here. That's the kind of thing Matt would pull. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Try, try to hit on some girl. But anyway, they go out there. We realize why the cops are really there are basically so that she can hear them falling to the ground as they're getting knocked out. They're not getting shot or anything. They're just getting knocked out. You can kind of tell that. Then Frank Castle shows up. She's got a pistol. She's threatening him, and he's like, "Hey, it wasn't me. It wasn't me." And then he hears something like almost like a running noise or something like that, and then all of a sudden he knocks her on the ground and is like hovering over her because like gunshots go all over the place in her room. He's telling her to escape and all that good stuff. Pretty cool little scene here. And this is the definite scene of like, well, we know Daredevil, or not Daredevil, but the Punisher is not going out there killing people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good scene.
Yeah, a lot of good scenes, and then we go back to Fisk, one of my favorites, and he asked to go get some files on Matt Murdock,
Mm-hmm.
which leads me to believe he's about to find out that he's Daredevil. I'm gonna be honest with you. Conversations they've had so far, um, like him even fighting Daredevil in the mask. I know you can't see his whole face and everything else, but like, but for Fisk to be as smart as he is and have this many interactions with Matt Murdock, he's got to understand. To me, he probably already should have known at least something
Yeah.
super fishy with Matt Murdock. And I do think he's sitting there eating, and one of the things that I caught like during that scene where he's bashing his head up against the table, Matt Murdock like lets it slip. You know, he's basically letting him slam his head down. He doesn't try to really fight back, except for one moment. He kind of knocks his one of his hands off of him real quick. And I think maybe that's what he was thinking about, and says like, "Wait 1 second, get that file." So he's obviously going to be trying to find out if this is what's up with Matt Murdock.
Yes, I think you're right.
And then we have Elektra. I think this is kind of cool. This guy pulls out a couple of size, and in the
Well, they
fight,
fought for a while before he pulled out those sides. Like I was
yeah,
surprised at that. I was like, man, you
yeah.
were fighting the whole time. You didn't pull out your weapons.
Hey, see this? We were just talking about something earlier in the episode about like, hey man, guys, just this is the guy being the toxic kind, like the bad part you should call out. He didn't pull out the size because he thought he was going to whoop her ass, wipe the floor with her all over the thing because he thought this is going to be an easy ass job. Easy ass job. And he didn't pull him out because of that, Matt. What a punk.
Yeah.
He should have pulled him out from the beginning. But then
Yeah.
I don't even know why he pulled him out because he ended up dying by him like pretty damn quick
Yeah.
after he pulls him out. He swiped at her twice, and then he just gets stabbed by both, one in the back, one in the front. He's just done with
But
it.
first he tells her that Styx sent him.
Yeah, well, that's after he got stabbed, and then
Yeah.
after he tells her that, then she pulls him out. So
Mm.
we find out Stick's probably a little asshole. Well, she kind of already knew he's kind of asshole. There's a difference between being an asshole and being an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. They're Electras now. That's all I say.
Yep. I mean, that's her. That I didn't really think about it. I thought they were just not like having the weapons or whatever for whatever reason. But I think it's kind of cool. She ends up getting the size from killing this dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how she gets the size or whatever, like in the comics or anything like that. I don't even know if that has anything to do with how she gets them here. They might not even be following any of that. They probably just thought, oh, it's cool that we're going to give her a size finally and let her really be Elektra. Because like the first time you see her, you probably don't want to just have her have the size. It's a dead giveaway who she'd be. It's not going to be a big surprise. But yeah, she gets the size by stabbing and killing that guy. And then we have ninjas climbing on the roof coming up to get them some of these
The people in the hospital, they want to
people
kill
in the
him.
hospital.
Yeah.
So, and that's a pretty crazy scene. We get some more ninja fights, and we get them taking what I assume is to be something to do with that damn black sky thing or whatnot. And that's pretty much it, guys.
Yep.
All right. I get episode 9 to me. It is an actual 9.5. This episode right here was a little bit of a letdown. Not a big letdown, but a little bit of a letdown from that episode. Drops it down to about a 7.5 on this one.
I'd give this episode an 8.
Yeah, I'll go 8 too.
Yep. It's around that range. Not too bad. We're be honest with you, like most of these are pretty high scores. And some of the lower scores, if they were part of a different show that didn't have super great episodes sandwiched in them, it'd probably be even higher scores you'd give on, or I'd give on a couple of episodes that I gave, to be honest with you. Well, that being said, please leave your comments down below on anything that we may not have talked about that you thought was cool in the episodes or any of the discussions that we have on here. You can join the Discord. That thing's floating down there at the bottom. Watch us on Twitch. We do some things on our Twitch channel here and there. I'm going to start trying to play games after the Auburn basketball season's on, but during the Auburn basketball season, I've been going on there and watching the Auburn basketball games, and not just watching the games, but also talking about some of the movie and TV show news on there as well during the timeouts and breaks. And just do all those good things. Join the Ko-Fi, and all that good stuff should be in the descriptions below. And until next time, guys, peace. And I almost hit the wrong button again.